On this week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast, gravy, gratitude, and getting out of debt. So, welcome back to this week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast, this Thanksgiving Day episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast. My name is Shawn Yesner, owner and founder of Yesner Law, and I'm joined remote by your financial coach, George Corbello. Happy Thanksgiving, George.
Yeah, man. I'm doing really well. This turkey is scrumptious. This meat's coming off the bone, brother. No, I'm doing good, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. I've already been hearing the Mariah Carey cries out there for Christmas. And yes, there are neighbors in my neighborhood that are putting up lights, and I'm like, okay, is it too early? When is it too early to do the decorations? Like, some people are like Halloween comes down and Mariah Carey goes up. So I just don't know. I'm still confused. I feel like there's a holiday in between, and yet we're struggling to keep Thanksgiving relevant, when it comes
So,
to the holidays.
I do decorate the house for Hanukkah,
Hmm.
but I typically don't do that till December 1st ish.
Yeah,
We have Thanksgiving dinner and then we typically set up
right, right.
the next day.
I
So
mean, it's
you
usually the first snow of December here in Florida. That's what I usually wait for. I'm still waiting, but it's been 7 years, but
when the pelican flies onto the dock and sees his shadow, we have 6 more weeks of
there
winter,
you go.
something like that.
Love
So
it.
what do you
Love it.
what do you normally do for Thanksgiving? Do you have people in town? Do you go out of town?
So sometimes we go, we try to do the family thing. Obviously, we have a lot of family out of state. So if there's travels, we, go into North Carolinas or Jersey. I think this year we've been motivating our family members like, hey, come to Florida. It's really nice in November. And we can trying to convince people, but they obviously, money and shutdowns and all these kind of things that could cause headache. I think people are kind of hesitating. So I think we might. I do have a brother in Florida. We might hang out. I think we're gonna hang out for Thanksgiving. We don't do the turkey. I'm not a big fan of turkey. Fried turkey, maybe. Again, I can do that kind of stuff. But we're really more, again, traditional Hispanic family. So we'll do our pernil or our roast pork. We'll do some rice and things like that, and then kind of, all the stuff that gets you really stuffed, regardless if it's turkey or pork. But that's what we do, as part of that. So I think family, local family, we're gonna try to do that kind of stuff this year.
Yeah.
What about you, brother?
Do they have fried turkey in New Jersey? Do they have
Oh,
fried turkey in New Jersey?
I guarantee you they'll
Do
have
you
fried
have?
turkey in New Jersey. That's for sure.
Okay.
That's easy.
So for me, um, I went to FSU. My sister graduated from
Mhm.
FSU. So in the even numbered years, so last year and next year, when the Florida State game is in Tallahassee, we go up to Tallahassee and we have
Oh,
Thanksgiving
nice.
with my mom and sister. In the odd years, so this year, um, everybody comes in to my place and we have Thanksgiving here. So my mom and my sister and my niece, as you're listening to this, if you're listening to it on Thanksgiving, they'll already be in town. We'll be working on Thanksgiving dinner, and actually, my cousin lives in Brandon, so we're gonna go
Ooh,
out there and have dinner with her and her husband and kids and my aunt and my mom. And so yeah, we're gonna get together, have a nice family. We do the traditional turkey stuffing, cranberries, green bean
love it.
casserole, all the
Coma
sweet
by the end of
potatoes.
evening. I
Oh
love it.
yeah.
It's yeah,
Although
that's
I love Thanksgiving dinner. I like leftovers even more.
oh, I can't complain. I
So
agree with you there.
I'll be
I
eating
agree with you there.
leftovers. I'll be eating leftovers
All
as you're
weekend.
listening to this and probably in the days after.
Well, we talking about gratitude and gravy, so that's some good stuff. But love to hear the listeners. What's your favorite dish? What are your plans as part of the Thanksgiving? I'm assuming some of it will involve some type of shopping because it's Thanksgiving and we get inundated with Black Friday and pre-Black Friday and early admission to Black Friday. There's going to be a lot of asked to spend money. So Thanksgiving is always that. I get that, but what are some of the things when we talk about, talking with family, we get together. Is there
Yeah.
conversations that may come up that we got to be careful of, or are we grateful for as part of those conversations? I'm just
I
curious to hear what other people are doing.
I think to keep the Thanksgiving table um friendly, you probably should talk more about what you're thankful for and less about financial advice.
Ah, the great. So gratitude is important, right? That great being grateful. What are we grateful for, as part of that? And it's funny. Isn't it a powerful kind of mindset though when it comes to having gratitude, when it comes to your situation, what you're going through? For me, I think it's having that gratitude puts you in a mindset that lets you kind of shift the way you think, whether it's
Right.
money or life or anything like that. I feel like it's the mindset that allows you to change. I'm grateful for where I'm at and the progress I've made, the wins that I'm getting, but also the opportunity to be able to do something different. It's a
Yeah.
positive kind of thought, right? I mean, that's how I look at it.
So I just finished a book.
Ooh,
It's actually right here. It's called Choose Your Story, Change Your Life, and it's by an
okay.
author named Kendra Hall, who
Little
I
shout out.
got the
Let's go.
opportunity. I got the opportunity to see her speak, and she's an amazing author. And one of the interesting things in the book is you use, what are the stories that you tell yourself? What are the stories,
Mm,
not only the stories that are holding you back, but how can you replace those stories with more positive stories? And so for anyone who's been listening for any length of time, one of the things that I do is I track every day, every weekday. I track what am I thankful for, what went
yeah,
well, today. And what I just went back over the last year and I read every week, what were all the good things that happened to me in the
sure.
last year every week. And so that was,
Ooh, all right. We got it, listeners. Let's pick on Sean. Any standouts for the year as part of moments you go, wow, okay, that I forgot about that kind of stood out when you reread it.
I think a lot of the stuff that stood out to me is just where I was 2 years ago and where
Sure.
I was last year and how my life changed from year to year. I mean, gosh, 2023 was
Mm-hmm.
probably one of the most difficult times of my life in terms of you were getting to the very end of Melanie. We had our last
Yeah.
Thanksgiving with her. Um, and then Thanksgiving last year, we were in Tallahassee for Thanksgiving. My dad had just passed away, and
Right,
so
right.
it was interesting. I mean, the things that stood out to me really had a lot to do with the boys. It was the Thanksgiving trip I took with the boys a year ago. It was the spring break trip I took with the boys
Yeah,
this past March. It was the summer vacation with the boys. A lot of it had to do with boys. A lot of it had to do with relationships that I was in,
right, right.
some of the other things that stood out, some of the big hearings that I won during the year, some of the big client,
Okay.
um, some of the clients that I was able to help get out of a lot of debt. So I do recommend, keeping track. You don't necessarily have to journal every day like I do, but at least keep track of all the good stuff that's happening so that you can go back and, what was life like this time last year? What am I thankful for? What has improved year over year? I think that's a fun exercise for me to do.
I like that. I mean, some of the things that I've looked back, it's funny. You do take the moment, right? Where we were a year ago, where we are today. For me, I've been grateful. Again, my mom, she's been sick, right? But she's still with us, right? She's got the care that she needs. She has what she needs, the 24-hour care to provide her the supports. I'm just grateful that my mom is still with us,
Right.
and that she's being taken care of. I'm grateful for my sister for all the hard work that she does to help my mom and her family, her three gorgeous daughters who are going through college, and two of them are graduating. I'm grateful for graduations this year. So even from, so my two nieces are graduating their college careers. My daughter is going through, her college graduation. My youngest is going to be graduating high school. So very happy on a lot of the things that they were to this year. And then business wise, again, you're right, helping people get out of their own way, right? To
Right.
get out of debt and do the things that we know they can do, but it's just, putting them in a position and giving them the tools necessary to be successful. So super happy about that. I'm happy to be, again, I'm grateful that my wife, she's still with me. She's still there, helping me out. She's still tolerating me from that standpoint itself. And I feel like, again, we're about to hit 25 years together next year. Um, so I have to budget quite a few things for next year because I think we might do a recording from Italy or something. I might have to do
Nice.
some stuff there, but I think there's just happy for opportunities for what we can do.
Yeah.
Again, for me, I'm just grateful, and again, I think at the end of the day, I'm grateful that we're still breathing, bro. We're alive. We're kicking. I got 10 fingers. I think I have 10 toes. So I think one of them seems to be against me when it comes to the morning times. But it's just little things like that you got to have fun. You got to enjoy each day because again, for me, it's a gift each day that we get to do this every day. So very
No,
happy for that.
totally agree. So let's get into some topics that would be relevant also to the podcast.
Oh, my bad.
Um,
Yeah. So getting out of debt, Thanksgiving conversation. So do when you get together with family itself on those kind of, Thanksgiving conversations, there's always that one, Uncle Harry or Uncle Juan that I have on my side. There's always that one that's like, got advice. Oh, how you doing? You guys got money? How's the house? How you managing? Again, is Thanksgiving, I know they're going to come up, but how do you
right.
handle those types of conversations because they're going to come up. It doesn't matter one way or the other. There's always going to be a conversation in regards to like, how you doing? How's the expenses? Have you invested in this? I heard this new crypto thing, you should probably invest in it. Like, what do you do? What do you do when those kind of
Yeah.
conversations come up?
No, I think you brought up two very, very good points. The first one is don't get caught up in the fads.
Yeah.
So you're going to have that uncle, that family member, that whoever that says, oh, you should be investing in crypto. You should be
Hmm.
investing in AI. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. Just do what is right for you.
Right.
If you have some extra money and you want to put it away in crypto, put it away in crypto. If you have some extra money and you can invest in AI tools, invest in AI tools. But I wouldn't get involved just because Uncle Joe says, this is the latest thing. I
Right.
would I would make sure to do my research, make sure to get involved uh, when it's right for you, and if you can afford to get involved. In other words, these people that liquidated their home and took all the cash and put it into crypto. I think I looked the other day and the $100 that I invested in crypto is now worth $94. So I'm just barely breaking even with the hundred
Right.
bucks I put in. Um, the other thing is kind of the social media keeping up with the Joneses. My family tends to be very close to the chest or close to the vest about finances.
Yeah.
And so when Uncle Joe comes in and says, how you doing? My typical reaction is, I'm doing great. The law firm is doing great. We
Yeah.
could have had our worst month ever
Right.
in existence. But I'm always going to say, law firm's doing well, clients are coming in, staff is growing. I'm always going to be positive about it. Sort of
Yeah.
that social media, everything's going to look rosy on social media.
Well, I mean, again, do we want to take the true meaning of what the Thanksgiving get together is for, right? And is it time to air out the dirty laundry? I just don't. I mean, again, you don't have to lie for yourself, right? Maybe you don't like, oh, I'm doing okay, but you could choose to go. It's not the time to go into the details. Maybe we can always have that conversation at another time. But yeah, doing
Right.
okay. Everything's fine. Things could be better if again, we could be honest and yeah, things could be better, but we're doing okay. We're fighting. Again, I'm grateful that we have the business and and the employees that were working there and the things that we're doing. So, we'll pick it up and things could get better. But I agree. I think using the Thanksgiving get together to air out the grievances. Um, what's that Seinfeld? oh man, Crispica, right? Like what no, that's the Friends, what they used to call it. There was a Festivus was the Seinfeld
Oh
holiday
yeah,
of the a holiday of
Festivus for the rest of us.
grievances.
Yeah.
Yeah, the holiday of grievances. Use Festivus for the grievances part, but I think Thanksgiving we want to keep it, to what we're grateful for, and how we're doing and what we're doing, and again, how do we how does family help you at this time? You know what I mean? I think, unfortunately, the statistics are still there where the holiday season could be the lows, where people tend to be a little bit more down because of the way the year's the shape. So it's just, for me, I think it's just opportunity. If we can just get together and just, talk and how we're doing. Remember the
Well,
good old days. Remember that time we had a beer behind it. Like, I mean, just that's what I want to I want to use those times for that kind of thing to keep me, remembering, some of the nice things that we did when we were growing up.
and I think it's also a good opportunity to look forward to next year.
Yeah.
So, where was I a year ago this time of
Mm-hmm.
year? And when I'm having this conversation next year with my family, where do I want to be? Where do
Yep.
I want the company? Where do I want the business to be? Where do I want the law firm to be? Where do I want to be financially? Where do I want to be romantically? Where do I want to
Right.
be, with the boys? By this time next year, my older son will be in his first year of high school. You got
Woo.
one coming out, I got one going in.
Nice.
So I think this is also a really good time to start to look forward to what did I accomplish this year and what do I want to accomplish next year?
I would agree. I think it's a nice time to reflect. And I think we'll probably do another show, right, as we get closer to the end of the year, right? How did we do?
Right.
2024 personally, from a business standpoint, what are some of the accomplishments? It's a good time to kind of reflect on, like, wins, losses, some of the things that we learned this year, and what could we start to do to build what we're going to do next year. And sometimes if we have, let's just say it is a bad year. We didn't pay off enough debt. We didn't save as much as we thought we were going to save. We didn't invest as much as we were going to invest. Okay, we acknowledge. What do we do? Let's change.
Yeah.
What are we going to do differently? How are we going to, even if it's $1, $2, do start. We got to start somewhere to make sure we
Well,
understand where we're at, so we can be in a better place.
yeah, and some of the lessons that I've learned in doing this podcast with you. I mean, number one, the book that I just finished, Change Your Story, Change Your Life.
Mm-hmm.
It you can tell yourself the story in a negative way. I
Of course.
wanted to pay off 10 grand
Mm-hmm.
in debt and I was only able to pay off 4 grand in debt.
Right.
Or you can switch that and say, hey, I was able to pay off 4 grand in
Or
debt.
end it.
I,
Right.
I did great this year. It's also, I forget what guest it was that we talked to, but it was this concept of, or maybe it was another book that I read, who knows. And it was this concept of don't judge yourself against where you want to go, judge yourself against where you came from. So,
Okay.
am I upset that I didn't pay off 10 grand in debt? Yeah, and maybe acknowledge it. But at the same
Sure.
time, I paid off 4 grand in debt. And so that cut my interest from $200 a month
Right.
to 150 a month, whatever it might be. But yeah, the small victories, the measure yourself against yourself, measure Shawn November of 2025 against Shawn December of 20, or sorry, January of 2025
I was
or
about to say, yeah.
November of 2024.
Sure.
And where am I now?
I think why is it so important? Let me ask that then, Sean. And why is it so important to have that reflection? We know we should be doing it itself, but what's the importance behind it?
I mean, for me, it's a mindset issue.
Mm,
Um, this year has been one of my more interesting years in terms of mindset because of some of the limiting beliefs that I have that I'm uncovering, that I'm acknowledging, that I'm dealing with. Um, some of the things that, you know, when I get to an odd year, blah 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 always happens, good and bad. And I found that to continue to be true. So it's again, it's the narrative you're telling yourself, it's the stories you're telling yourself. And at the end of the day, we all like to feel good. And so wouldn't it feel good to reflect on the previous year and say, you know what? Yeah, this year was kind of rough. I'm still getting my feet under me from being a solo dad. I'm still
Yep.
trying to make sure the boys are well adjusted. But at the same time, the boys are well adjusted. They do have friends. They are excelling in what they're doing. They
Right.
are getting good grades. You know, they're good, they're good kids, they're good boys.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, the negative mindset can build on itself, but a positive mindset can build on itself too.
No, I think I love you know, mindset is where we want to be to if we want to be successful or move things forward. Who are you surrounding yourself as well? That the way their mindset's going to be can also have an influence too on how you're thinking, how you're motivating, how you're moving forward as well. So I love the idea. I think, you know, for us it's the small changes, right? You know,
Right.
if we want to do something big, you know, we need to be able to start doing some of the you know, the small things that get us back on track or, you know, get us to do more as part of, you know, whatever is important to us when it comes to goals or priorities in life. Forget money itself, but in life and what you're trying to
Right.
do. So I love that. That kind of thought, and I'd love to share. So thank you, brother, man. I think for me, I'm not disagreeing with you. For me, it's, you know, being able to understand where I'm at, where I was, and where I want to be. And as we get older, it's, you know, I feel you know, for me, what I focus on does change, right? I want to be more
Yep.
present for the kids. I want to be more for my wife. I want to be more for, you know, my business and things like that, but there's a priority to how that works.
Right.
I would love to make a crap load of money. Yeah, 1 million a year, 1 million a month. I mean, you know, whatever it might be, great. But is that going to, what is that going to buy me, right? You know, what is that going to get me? You know, buying stuff is not where I think I want to be at this point, you know, right? It's like where can I have that money that can allow me to enjoy the time, invest the time,
Right.
do more with the time? Because again, we can make as much money as we can, guys, but we can't get that time back. And I think that's for me, that's you know, as we get older, that's some of the things
Yep.
we reflect on.
You can't take it with you.
As much as I think we're all gonna try, I don't think I can. I don't think I can. At least no one's convinced me that that they can do that self. But let me ask
No.
this, Sean, how do we overcome financial food comas? Because we know there's gonna be overconsumption and regretful spending that may happen because we're getting inundated in Black Friday deals. What do we do? What do we do with
Yeah,
that?
it's a great minds think alike. I was just about to ask you what your Black Friday plans are. I think for me,
Stay in the
you
black.
know,
That's gonna be.
yeah, for me, I think we tend to forget. So, you know, I know we know Black Friday comes up every year.
Yep.
We know there are Black Friday sales and specials every year. So, for me, I think it's just a function of build that holiday fund, build
Yep.
that Christmas fund or that Hanukkah fund or whatever it is you want to call it.
Hanukkah, yeah, exactly. Any
And
holiday thing.
right, and start at Thanksgiving this year
Yep.
and do it so that next year you're prepared for it. Um, you know, take advantage of the Black Friday specials, but at the same time, don't be seduced by the Black
Yes.
Friday specials. You know, do I want something for my kids for the holidays that I can buy on Black Friday because I know it'll be, uh, you know, priced at a
It'll be
discount?
a little cheaper, right? Or
Right.
hopefully it's a little cheaper because I feel
Hopefully,
like
it's a little
there's some
cheaper.
scams out there. I feel like that it's 50% off, but it was that same price last Saturday. What happened?
Right. It's 50% off, but you raised the price
Yeah.
60% and then took 50% off.
Exactly.
Um, so my mom, I don't know that she enjoys living in Tallahassee or not, and I get it. Tallahassee, other than the state capital and the state legislature,
Sure.
Tallahassee's really a college town. There's not really a lot for my mom's generation,
Sure.
and certainly she's got friends and people that she talks to and whatever, but it's not. So my mom, she complains that the malls aren't the same as the malls here in Tampa, and so my an interesting lesson here. My mom, when we first started planning Thanksgiving, the thought process was that my mom and sister and niece would come in Tuesday, and then they'd leave like first thing Friday morning to get back to Tallahassee because they want to watch the Gator game from home on Saturday.
Sure.
But my mom wants to go Black Friday shopping.
Okay.
So
She wants to actually go somewhere.
yeah.
Okay.
So I think they're
Good
gonna stay.
approach.
I think they're gonna stay through the Gator game on Saturday and then leave Sunday morning. But now the interesting thing is my son knows that grandma likes to go Black Friday shopping. So now my son is saying, well, I'm going to go
There
with
we go.
grandma and we're going to go Black Friday shopping with grandma on Friday. So even he knows Black Friday is coming.
Nice. I mean, and that's okay. For me, we're prepared, right? If there was a deal, if there's something that we're looking for, because I asked my kids, like, they're old enough, like, what's your list? What do you want? Give us some ideas. So because sometimes it's hard to like, what do they, what do they want? There's no need, right? Needs are, there's a difference. So
Right.
what do you want? Like, let me,
Right.
like, is there some kind of album? Is there, I get a lot of my musical theater nerd is the albums, and I'd love this kind of playwright, and so I get all that. And then my oldest is the gamer, and so I'm like, okay, she likes books and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, so give me ideas, because dad ain't a mind reader. It ain't gonna happen.
Right.
So, and it's funny. We looked at like Prime Days deals. Like, oh, okay, that was cool. Like, if there's something that stands out that I'm like, okay, take advantage. But I'll do the same, right? Like, if there's certain deals that we can take advantage of, but I'm not getting seduced, right? There's certain things that I have in mind. If I can get a good deal for it, okay, that was 50 off. But I've done the research, right? We've done the research. We've done everything that's needed. Like, it's typically this amount. I don't want to get swindled into like, oh, it was 50 off. Although I'm like, yeah, I think I got that deal was there, 2 weeks ago on Prime Day. So I just got
Right.
to be careful, I just got to be careful there. But I think for us, don't get seduced into having to spend something, right? If you've done your research, you have the budget in place to allow you for the spend, that allows us to be guilt free in our spending. And I think that's
Yeah.
we got to try to put ourselves in that position. But Sean, I like getting ready for next year. That's cool. And I agree with you. Let's put some things for next year. But I got to worry about next month. This is not so I think, but the same rules still apply. How much do we
Right.
want to spend? How much can we set aside? And the one thing that we're all going to have to really accept is that no can be a full sentence as part of our spending. And we know it's funny. It's like, yeah, we know this. Yet we have
Well,
to be able to put it into practice.
and I think the same concepts apply. In other words, I want to be thankful for what I have. I want to get my kids nice stuff. If I can get
Hmm.
them nice stuff on Black Friday, then let me get them, good stuff on Black Friday. But at the same time, I don't, my kids, what's something they want? I know my kids want a Switch, a Nintendo
Yes.
Switch.
The new one, the Switch 2.
Yeah, the Switch 2.
Gotcha.
But they don't need a Switch 2.
Oh, yeah. No one
And
needs it.
so if I can afford to buy them a Switch 2, then yeah, I'll go for it. It'll
Sure.
be their one of their Hanukkah presents. If I can't afford it, there are plenty of other gifts out there that they would like just as much. So don't overspend just
Hmm.
because it's Black Friday. Don't overspend just because it's a gift. But if you've done well this year and you can afford a couple extra bucks to buy the new Switch 2,
Why not?
then go for it.
Absolutely. That's the hard part, right? I think it's distinguishing between the want and the need, and the justification. Like, well, my kids will never talk to me ever again. Well, your kids talk to you if you don't get it, Sean. I think they will.
My kids will be forced to talk to me, otherwise they won't have a place to live.
You go with grandma.
Right. So we talked a lot about personal. What about business?
Ah, the
What does Curbello Financial Coaching do for Black Friday and Thanksgiving and gratitude?
I mean, obviously, if we can send out like cards, small gifts for anyone who's local. So again, I have a lot of my clients are, remote. So you try to give the cards and the, the thank yous via that way. But I also try to send the message, right? Like, share with me your gratitude story for the year as part of, like, I want them to go through the exercise of that gratitude, you know, excuse me. And a lot of it too can be around gratitude towards, each other, the kids, your journey. And I'll take even a nice testimonial, right? Show some love to your financial coach in the support. Show some love to your bankruptcy lawyer. Like what we work together with a lot of these folks itself, and it's obviously I'm grateful for them to trust me in their journey. But I always like to hear the nice things as well once in a while that says, thank you for the hard work that we do, to put them in a position, to give them the skills and the tools that necessary to be successful as well. So for me, that's what I try to do. And I think you touched upon, I think before we got on this here as well, was like, thank you to our networking partners, right? Things like that. They're just little things that kind of, to kind of say thanks, because again, all of us are business entrepreneurs and we're trying to help each other. And where could we provide referrals and continue to, build on our businesses itself. So I think it's a great opportunity to kind of do those kind of things as well for a lot of those partners.
Yeah, so I was away as we record this. I was away this past weekend. Um, Actually got caught up in the government shutdown. So my
Ooh,
flight that was supposed to leave Atlanta at 4 p.m. left Atlanta at 11:38 p.m. And
oof.
instead of getting home at 5:30 p.m., I walked in the door of my house at about 1:15 in the morning with
Ay,
my
ay,
two
ay.
kids.
And the kids have to go to
Um,
school.
and yeah, though they're
Oof.
at school now.
And you're at work.
I'm home with the windows open, having a nice cross breeze in my house, but they're at school right now. But one of the other, I got a chance to get a lot of reading done, and I read another book called Buying Customers. And in my line of work, I don't get very many repeat clients. People don't like
Yeah, well,
filing
you hope.
bankruptcy once, much
Right,
less,
right, right.
two or three times. So I do have to focus on my referral sources. And one of the things that we do every year, I track who my top referral sources are. And then we buy them a gift, a small gift. I mean,
Sure, sure.
I think this year we're thinking, I was telling you earlier, I think we're gonna do the butter cookies, the butter sugar cookie, the tins, like
Nice.
the sugar cookie that's shaped like a pretzel with the big rocks sugar on it,
Love those.
those types of things. I think I can get them at Costco. I know I can get them at Costco. I don't know if I they come four to a pack or six to a pack, but if it's four to a pack, I can buy three of them. If it's
Yeah.
six to a pack, I can buy two of them. And now I've got 12 tins of sugar cookies to give out to my top 12 referral sources. So that's one of the ways that I try to show gratitude to my referral sources is, hey, it's Thanksgiving, I can give them a gift.
There you go. And I love the idea too of just, simple things to say thank you to those clients, and what they were able to do. Your simple things for your referral partners to say thank you for what they're doing to help you find those clients. So I think a lot of that is there, from an opportunity standpoint. So love it, man, really. And I think all of us, review from a business standpoint, what are we grateful for? The doors are open, we're serving clients, we have the staff, we have the people to help us, be able to help the clients. Obviously, that time of year, how's the budget? How are we doing from a business standpoint, so we can look at how we did this year and what are some of the new goals that we're going to look to do for next year. So I think, it's a perfect time to do self-reflection, both on self and for entrepreneurs to get ready for next year, because it's, you get to do it all over again, people.
Yeah. That's one of the other things I like doing with my staff, is having we shut the office down for one day and I take them somewhere for breakfast or whatever, and we spend the morning and we talk about how did the firm do this year? What goals can the firm set for next year? How do
Yep.
we accomplish them? What do we
Yep.
do? What people do? Another book I'm in the middle of reading is called Who Not How. So what
Mm,
do we want to accomplish next year, and then who can help us get there? Um, and so we have that meeting every December. So we're planning that, and there's a lot of gratitude in that meeting in terms of, again, where did we start? Where are we now? Where do we want to finish? What do we want to do next year? So,
love it.
yeah, I mean, that's what I think in my mind. one of the reasons that this tends to be a lot of people's favorite holiday is there's a lot of reflection, there's a lot of
Yes.
self-reflection, there's a lot of
Food.
good in terms of what did I accomplish, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of good in terms of what do I want to accomplish next year.
Yeah. And food.
And food. There's always food. There's
And
always
liquor.
food.
Food and
And
drinks. I gotta
okay,
say, we can't
I'm
do
gonna
anything other than that.
I'm gonna be with my sister. I'm gonna be with my mom and my cousin and my aunt. There's going to be a lot of alcohol involved at my house
There
this
will be a
weekend.
lot of enjoyment
Yes, a lot
of
of
the
merriment.
love it, man. Love it. Well, I gotta say, like I said, it's a great time of year. But again, one thing I'll say to you, my friend, I appreciate the friendship. I appreciate what we are able to do on this show, and what we what we able to provide as advice. And I'm always learning something. Let me tell you, all these shows with lawyers and stuff, I am learning the law and learning
There
what
you
I can
go.
do from that standpoint. So I appreciate everything that you bring, and what we'd be able to accomplish. And yes, I'm still teasing that 500th episode, so we got to do something big for that. But yes, my friend, we are getting there closer, ever
We
closer
are
to the
getting
number.
there. If my numbering is correct, we are 9 away
Whoosh.
from episode number 500. So
Crazy.
we will definitely figure that one out as well. But
And if not, we're just gonna like put out a lame episode or delay the 500 for a few weeks so that we can get the right episode. We'll go start at 501 and then come back to 500. Let's
then we'll
put it.
come back to 500. Yeah. But in the
Grateful, brother.
meantime, if you as a listener, first of all, let us know, what are you thankful
Yes.
for? What went well this year? What do you want to improve on for next year? And one of the things that you can help us improve on is our Patreon page. You can go to
Yes.
patreon.com/crushing debt. You can make a donation there, or a contribution there that'll help make the show better for everybody. Um, and other than that, yeah, no, I've said this before, but I was kind of stuck, and so you coming on board the show definitely helped to re-energize me, re-energize the show. I know the listenership has gone up now in the, gosh, I don't even know how long's it been, 4 or 5 years we've been doing this now,
Holy
something like
moly. I
that.
know it's a few years. I don't know if it's 4 or 5, but it could be. I don't know. I
It
stopped counting.
it may be getting close
I
to
think it's
four.
like
Who
three
knows?
years. Four,
Yeah,
maybe four. Yeah.
I
Okay. We'll have
think
to.
it's getting close to four. I'm not
Yeah, I think so
exactly
too.
sure, but
But
I
holy
think so.
moly. I'll take
So,
it.
meanwhile, happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Thanksgiving to the family. And
Same to you. Same to the listeners. Go, have a drumstick on me. Make sure it's fried. Not who does oven roasted, fried
so I
turkey.
normally do. I typically do the bird in the oven, but then I
Mm,
do something on the egg. I do a ham, I do a
okay.
brisket, I do something. I smoke something on the green egg.
On the egg. No, love it anyway. But again, I have all the love for the bird. Just make sure you have some for us this Thanksgiving. Enjoy the meal, guys, while you're listening, and obviously help us out where you can with a nice like and share, and all that good jazz when it comes to the show. So appreciate everybody.
Absolutely. And as we continue to roll towards episode 500, as we continue to roll into 2026, we hope that you have more money at the end of the month rather than month at the end of the money. And we will talk to you in next week's episode.